There's no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear. A lot of these platforms, I don't think they're purposely doing it, but they're actually creating fear. If anything, we're supposed to have fear of Adonai, the one that could destroy both body and soul. Somebody posted a video of what appears to be the shadow of a dragon, and there goes the tail end during the eclipse, and I will be adding their video to this video as well. I posted a video on YouTube on the Heavens Delight, the plagues of Babylon, because everything repeats itself. People have to understand you're not supposed to be fearful of the upcoming Antichrist reign, for Satan has always been the god of this world, and Yahushua is the one that will put a stop to his reign. For Esau is the end of this world, Jacob is the beginning of the one that follows. For the earth is given unto the hands of the wicked. Why do you think in the desert, when Yahushua was in the desert for 40 days, he tried to tempt them by offering him all the kingdoms of the world? Because he's behind all the kingdoms of the world. What has been is what will be, and what has been done will be done. And there's nothing new under the sun. In the first Exodus, Abba led his people into the wilderness. It's going to happen again. And we call it Passover, and we happen to be on Passover this month, April. And he hasn't gathered his remnant yet. Israel will return from exile. So what we're looking at here is a showdown. So the first Exodus, it was a showdown between the Most High and the gods of Egypt. It just repeats itself. And during that showdown, we were still laboring like we're doing today. In fact, Yah hardened his heart, the Pharaoh's heart, and he took the straws away from us, making our labor even harder to make the bricks. And I explained before that Daddy raises up a destroyer. When he wanted to punish Israel, he raised up Abaddon, the tribe of Dan. Now the dragons are being flipped to Magog, and the one behind it is Russia. So the hand of judgment is being lifted off Israel and placed onto Israel's enemies. So Putin is the one that's behind the judgment of the enemies of Israel. Gog as the instrument of Yah. But then he will be destroying Gog and all his allies, because they'll be coming together against Israel again to enslave them again, and he will be destroying them. A long time from now, you will be called to action. In distant years, you will swoop down onto the land of Israel, that will be lying in peace after the return of my people from many lands. You and all your allies, a vast and awesome army, will roll down upon them like a storm and cover the land like a cloud. For at that time, an evil thought will have come to your mind. You will have said, Israel is an unprotected land of unwalled villages. I will march against her and destroy these people living in such confidence. I will go to those once desolate cities. They are now filled with people again, those who have returned from all the nations, and I will capture vast booty and many slaves, for the people are rich with cattle, and the whole earth revolves around them. Pharaoh received a report that the Israelites have escaped. When he heard this, he and his officials changed their minds about what they have done. Pharaoh said, why did we let the Israelites leave? Why did we let them run away? Now we had lost our slaves. So Pharaoh prepared his chariots and took his men with him. He took 600 of his best men, all of his chariots. And we all know how it ends. For the Egyptians will know that I am Adonai, and it happens again. So this is the plagues in the first Exodus. Like I said, it happens again. And today's headlines. And this isn't the reading of Zechariah. This is when Abba will be with Israel and Judah, fighting the 7 years against Gog and Magog. And I will make a vast graveyard for Gog and his army in the village of travelers. And I will fight you with a sword that sees torrential floods, great hailstorms, fire, and brimstone. And the reading of 2nd Esdras. When that happens, the signs I told you about earlier will take place. And then I will reveal my son, whom you saw as a man coming out of the sea. When you hear his voice, all nations will leave their own territories. Forget their wars with one another. Remember this, because I'm going to play you a video. Something that Reagan said while he was in office. And come together in one great crowd too large to count. The nations would unite with the single purpose of making war on my son. Then my son will condemn these assembled nations for their godlessness. He will confront them with the wicked plans that they have made, and also with the torments that they must endure. He will easily destroy them by the means of the law. So he will be gathering them, and he will be destroying them. I also covered the book of Nahum. That is the judgment that's coming to Nineveh. That's what the eclipse is about, because it's hitting all areas named Nineveh. Nimrod was the builder of Nineveh. So the judgment is coming to Nineveh. what happens to be where the original 13 colonies were founded, where the District of Columbia happens to be, the financial district of the world. The three cities that run the world: Washington, D.C., Vatican City, and the city of London. So this financial system will have to collapse for the new one to take place. This is a system that they gave to us while we were in captivity, this Babylonian money magic slave system. That's why there's so many pagan images in our money. And somebody posted this video. He held this $20 bill on the light, and you see the water stain. That's when Bush was in office, Bush Jr. And you can see the horn. So that will be going away. The BRICS will be taking its place. And the one behind it is Russia and China, along with their other allies. So yes, the world's under judgment, but this eclipse is particular for Nineveh. I had a dream last night. I was looking at the TV and I saw tanks rolling in. But the screen was red. And in the reading in Nineveh, they said that the uniforms were red. And my youngest had a dream last night, and she said she saw a huge earthquake larger than the last one we had. And now to the symbolism of rings. Italy's Mount Etna puffs out smoke rings. Coming soon, a ring of fire in the sky. I will compare my judgment to a ring. But then I said, but Adonai Yah, your concern is with the people who will be alive at the end of the world. What will happen to those that live before that time? What about us? What about those who came before us and those who will live after us? He answered me, the final judgment can be compared to a circle. And just as a circle has no beginning or end, for those that come early will not be too early, and those that will come late will not be too late. I replied, but couldn't you have created all human beings, those in the past, the present, and the future, so they will all live at the same time? And that way, that you have your final judgment sooner? Again, you can find that reading in 2nd Esdras. And yes, he is referring to none other than the eclipse that we just had. I don't know if you guys ever saw The Fifth Wave. In this movie, there was tsunamis, plagues and diseases, earthquakes, aliens. But there was two groups of people. One that decided to stay out in the wilderness and help each other out, just like in the scriptures. And one that decided to go right back into the system. The ones in the systems, they got rid of the parents. And they made the children into soldiers. And they implanted something in the base of their neck that was controlling them. And the government officials were the actual aliens all along.
We've now entered into another dimension, another time shift, even according to the book of Joel 2. And this time shift, according to Joel chapter 2, is that the sun and the moon will be darkened. So what you have to understand is this is a sign of judgment that's happened. So now this new time zone we're in, we're going to start to see judgment upon heathen nations. We're going to also see judgment upon those who call themselves Yehudim but lie and are not. But this is a time for the Nazarenes to get right with the Most High, because judgment's for the whole world and we're all going to stand before him. So this sign which has come from the Most High, it's important, the sign of Nineveh. It's important for us to get right, to repent, even if we think we're clean. It's time to examine ourselves very carefully before the Most High. Prophetic warning, Yahweh bless you, shalom.
Did my husband catch while zoomed in?
Point in my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together. Well, I don't suppose we can wait for some alien race to come down and threaten us, but I think that between us we can bring about that realization.